For years, India's most talked about assault rifle wasn't really India's. It was a Russian design made in India using Russian kits. That changes now. A factory in Amethi has just test-fired the first AK-203 built entirely from Indian components, down to the raw materials. So how did a rifle that started as a licensed Russian import end up being called 100% genuine indigenization? And what happens next? Let's break it down. The AK-203 story in India goes back to 2019, when Indo-Russian Rifles Private Limited was set up as a joint venture between Indian defense firms and Russian giants. The plan was to manufacture more than 6 lakh AK-203 rifles in Amethi, replacing the aging India-made Indian small arms system rifle across the Army, Air Force and Navy. In the early years, the factory was largely assembling rifles from the imported kits, which meant the Make in India label did not quite tell the full story. Over time, the IRRPL worked to develop Indian suppliers for one critical component after another, gradually raising the domestic content with every batch produced. That gradual process just reached its real finish line. IRRPL has now successfully test-fired the first AK-203, nicknamed Sher, built using Indian components and input materials across its entire production chain. Major General S.K. Sharma, the company's CEO, called it not just localization of a few parts but true end-to-end genuine indigenization. The Sher isn't a new design so much as a fully home-built version of a proven one. It's a gas-operated 7.62 by 39mm assault rifle built on the Kalashnikov platform with modular accessory rails, updated ergonomics and a modern targeting setup designed for present-day combat needs. It fires at a rate of around 700 rounds a minute with an effective range of up to 800 meters. The rifle has already completed firing tests including automatic and burst fire, with IRPL describing the initial results as encouraging. That clears the way for the next real test. Multiple fully indigenized prototypes are now being prepared to hand over to the Indian Army for formal trials expected to begin in September 2026. What makes this moment more than a one-off achievement is the pace IRRPL is now promising. The company says it's working toward producing one Sher rifle every 100 seconds, while also expanding capacity and pushing indigenization even further across its production lines. The improved efficiency has had a direct practical payoff. According to Major General Sharma, these changes have already helped move up the delivery timeline for the roughly 6 lakh rifles promised to the Indian Army by almost a full year for soldiers waiting on a modern standard issue rifle. That's not a small detail, it's the difference between a paper milestone and a weapon that actually reaches the front line sooner. This rifle has quietly been called the younger sibling of BrahMos, another Indo-Russian defense project that started as an import and ended up becoming a symbol of Indian manufacturing capability. The AK-203 story follows the same arc, moving from imported kits to partial localization to a rifle now built entirely from raw material to final component inside India. It's a small weapon next to fighter jets and missile systems, but it might be one of the clearest examples yet of what Atmanirbhar Bharat is supposed to look like in practice. Not a headline announcement, but a factory in Amethi quietly replacing every last imported part, one supplier at a time, until the rifle is in Indian soldiers' hands, has nothing left to import at all.